Hiya, I'm Deb from Hookanory, and in this video tutorial we're going to be exploring the mysteries of the colour wheel. I'm going to explain it in a simple, fun and hopefully memorable way so that you can use your newfound knowledge to help you choose the perfect colour palette for your next crochet project. So stick around and take a trip with me into the old school art room where we take a look at the colour wheel. If you want to colour your colour wheel alongside me, you'll need to grab your colour wheel colouring sheet from my web shop by scanning the QR code on screen or by heading to my blog hookanory.com. All the links are in the description. You'll also need some colouring materials. I use felt tips in mine, but pencils or paints will be just as good. Okay, so let's get started. So now we're going to have a little introduction to the mystical thing that is the colour wheel. And I'd just like to show you a little demonstration that will hopefully break down that scary thought process that might be going on in you right now. Okay folks, so we're going to have fun with felt pens and we're going to talk about the colour wheel. So for those of you who are not sure what the colour wheel is, this is going to be my little live demo of what that is all about. So hopefully you all know the story of the rainbow. So Richard of York gave battle in vain. What am I on about? Richard of York gave battle in vain. I don't know if you guys know the same rhyme, but that's how we learnt it as kids in the UK. And that rainbow is then just put into a 6-segmented circle. Okay, now, oh dear, what are we looking at? We've got 6 segments, we've got 7 colours. Well, I'm very sorry, but indigo a go-go. Indigo's got to go because indigo is not part of the set. Okay, that comes later in the 12-sectioned colour wheel, which we'll come on to after. But for the moment, we're just going to talk about these colours in the colour wheel and why they're there. To start with, we have the primary colours. So we've got red, we have yellow, and we have blue. Now these are the primary colours. These are the colours that make all other colours. So these are like the one ring to rule over all the others. These are the main colours that everything else is made from and cannot be made by mixing those together. Okay, so if you had to buy 3 paints and that's all you could buy, those are the colours you're going to buy. So then I hear you shout, what about the other colours? Well, yes, we all know what comes next. We have the yellow and the red, and that makes orange. And then everybody shout together, blue and yellow makes green. Hurrah, there it is. And then we have blue and red together, and that makes violet or purple. Okay, so these are the main 6 colours. Now we've talked about our primaries. The colours that are mixed using those primaries are secondary colours. Okay, so we've got primary and then we've got secondary colours. Okay, they're using 1, they're using 2. So we've got numero uno, the head honchos there, and we've got the second in command here. So number 2. I'm going to put that on the edge because you can't see it on the purple. Okay, so we've got our main colours, and then if we are doing a 12-sectioned colour wheel, we have got another set of colours that come in between. So we've got another 6 colours. Now these ones are a mixture of the ones next to each other. So it's the side-by-side neighbours. Okay, so that's number 3s. These are the number 3s. Here they go. 3, 3, oh, 3, 3. So our tertiaries they're a mixture of them together. So we have got a yellow orange, so that's going to be a light orange. Okay, so we're going to pop that one there between. We have got a light green because it's predominantly yellow as in the mix there. Okay, so it's a yellow green or a lime green. Then we have a green blue. Okay, so I'm going to have to try and mix this one with my felt tips. So let's go see whether we can mix that. There we go. Which is a kind of tealy coloured green blue. Okay, the next one, okay, poor Indigo Go-Go gets to come back in again because we've got the blue violet. Okay, so indigo comes in here. And then as we go round, we've got a violet red, which I have to do a bit of colour mixing with as well because my felt pens haven't quite got the right colour. Might be a better one. Here we go, there we go. So this is sort of like a bright pink, magenta pink. Okay, and then we have our last colour, which is the red orange. And there we go. So we're mixing that to make the dark red orange. Okay, so now we've got our primaries. Okay, so our number ones, our number twos is the secondaries, and we've got our tertiaries, which are again the neighbours mixing together. Okay, so it's a lovely community of colours where everyone's mixing together and creating these colour schemes. So now you can add those colour sets to your colour wheel colouring sheet, starting with the 3 primary colours, then the 6 segment wheel that includes both the primary and the secondary colours, and then finally the 12 segment wheel which includes the primary, secondary and tertiary colours. So now you know what the colour wheel looks like, we're going to move on to how you play with the colour wheel, and that's where we're going to go back to the slides and have a look at how the combinations work and what they're called, and we're going to try and demystify this idea of colour theory being scary and something that is gate-kept is the word, and non-accessible. It is accessible, it's easy, it's just something you don't necessarily talk about. Okay, it's learning a language of colour that you can then describe things and use them in your designs and in your makes. So let me introduce you to the darlings of colour theory. They are the complementary colours, and I say the darlings because they're such darlings, they're such lovies, they like to give each other compliments all the time. They make each other look good in a crowd and they can't help but tell each other that. So it's darling, you look fabulous, and oh look, you make me look fabulous too. Aren't we so wonderful together? Let's all go out in style, make everyone look at us. Because that's what complementary colours do. They make you look. And nature uses the complementary colour combinations in the most fantastic ways. It can say to you, keep away, look at me, keep away because I'm dangerous. So for the examples of tree frogs and things like that. Or they can say, come and eat me, in the idea of the red and green berries on a holly tree. So complementary colours have equal intensity and maximum contrast. They almost vibrate against each other. They create a resonating effect. And this is why they're sometimes referred to as clashing colours. And you get rhymes like red and green should never be seen. But I say to you now, if nature does it, it's good. If you see it out there, take your ideas from nature and use it to your own purpose. So use these pairs of colour for big impact. So now I'm going to introduce you to the best buddies forever. These are the analogous or harmonious colours. The reason I prefer the term harmonious colours is because it makes you think of music and how the harmony goes together and sounds beautiful. It's the same in colour theory. The harmonious colours look good together. They're best buddies forever because they get along so well. They are the ones next to each other on the colour wheel. They've got their arms around each other and they're hugging each other, and they're just so great because they love each other and they get on so well. They work in harmony with each other because they have common elements. In this example, you can see that both orange and green contain yellow. On the next slide, you'll see the whole gang together, all all 12 of the pairings of 3 harmonious colours on the colour wheel. Harmonious colours blend gently from one to the other. There are no harsh contrasts or clashes, so they're pleasing to the eye. Use these colour combinations to create a calm, agreeable and unified aesthetic. You may often see harmonious colours referred to as ombre, where the colours blend from one shade of a colour to another. Harmonious colours can also have a temperature, either cool or hot, so we're going to go on to that next. Cool colours sit next to each other on the green-blue half of the colour wheel. They're seen as cool in temperature and evoke feelings of calm and serenity. My personal opinion is that you might sometimes consider adding the pale yellow in on the end of this colour combination, but be careful, because if you place it at the other end where there's the purple, you'll be creating a complementary combo, which obviously creates a much more vivid contrasting effect. These colour ranges are also harmonious colour ranges because they blend from one to the other. Use these colours to create a chilled out vibe. So then we've got the other side of the colour wheel, which is the hot colours, seen as hot in temperature and evoking feelings of warmth, passion and intensity. So personally, I like to add violet to the other end of this colour spectrum next to the magenta pink to really turn up the heat and give it a really hot, vivid, jewel-like feeling. You can use these colours to create an intense and vibrant mood. So there are some other colour combinations. Now don't get scared about these names. It starts to sound a little bit more complicated from now on, but really it is just another shape. So here we're looking at triangles. We have triadic colours, and they are equilateral triangles, which means that they are balanced on equal portions of the colour wheel. So in this example on my slide, we've got the red, blue and yellow combination, which we know is the primary colours, people. Yes, how are you still awake there? Yes, the primaries, and they are vibrant, high contrast but balanced colour schemes. But word of caution, because they're so vibrant and high contrast, you might want to tone them down using a neutral or another colour to balance them out. And then we've got the more pointed triangle. Okay, this is the split complementary, and basically that's taking the one primary, so in our example we've got the yellow, and we're taking the 2 secondary colours that are either side of its complementary opposite. Okay, so that just means you're going from the top, you're going primary colour, going down and going, nope, not having that one, I'm having their partners the other side. Okay, and this is easier to use, less clashing than standard complementary colours, and can give a more sophisticated colour scheme while still giving it high contrast and pizzazz. Pizzazz! So we are moving on now to the tetradics. Basically, this is squares and rectangles, so don't get scared. It's perfectly fine to use square and rectangle. You don't have to remember tetradic. You just need to think about the shape that they are and where they're positioned. So, like the equilateral triangle of the triadic colour scheme, these are equidistant on the colour wheel for the square. These are sometimes called complementary pairs because they are 2 pairs of complementary colours. They can be a little bit overwhelming because they're all equally as vibrant as each other. So use these to create strong vibrancy and energy in a piece of work, or you could use them in split proportions with main colours and an accent colour, so the accent means that it's a smaller proportion of colour, or with a neutral colour to avoid colour overload. And so now the last one we have is the rectangle, which is another tetradic. It's 4 colours, 2 pairs of complementary colours arranged as a rectangle on the colour wheel. Like the split complementary colours, these offer a more subtle combination than the square tetradic. They are not evenly spaced on the colour wheel, and the colour intensity is then varied. So you can use these together as they are, you could split proportion them, or use them with a neutral for a vibrant and really juicy effect. So we've done all the bright colours, the shiny ones that are jumping out at you saying, look at me, but we don't want to forget all those gorgeous browns. The brown colour ranges are made using different proportions of all 3 primary colours. It is an absolutely infinite range. It's like every colour you can possibly imagine. And they are often referred to as earth tones because originally the pigments for these colours were found in the earth and in minerals. You can use these colours to evoke a natural, rustic, warm, cosy feeling that connects you with nature and the world around you. So they're absolutely perfect for that gorgeous winter or autumn mosaic blanket that you might want to wear in front of a cosy fire. So we've talked about colour combinations, and we've talked about how you can have a range of colours that fade from one to the other harmoniously. Now we're going to look at what happens when you just use one colour and mix it with a tint, tone or shade. Monochrome colours are really easy to use. Monochrome colours just means that they've been mixed with either white, grey or black to create a different shade or tone or tint of the same colour. So we have got here in our examples, we've got black fading through to grey white, and we've got pale pink going through to hot pink. Sometimes they're described as monochrome, and sometimes you might see them described as ombre, the colour pigment used rather than black or white. Use these colours to create a calm, controlled effect, either with blending or high contrast. Monochrome or ombre colours can give a classy, simplified, minimalist effect and can enhance different moods depending on the temperature of the colours used. I'd just like to end this segment on colour theory with a special mention to the beautiful neutrals. So neutrals in colour theory refer to colours that lack intensity, and they're hues or pigments that have been mixed with white to create paler, very subtle effects. However, in yarn, this also refers to the beautiful range of natural colours of undyed fibres in yarn. So you can use these colours to give a feeling of natural calm and simplicity, or use them in combination with more vibrant colours to add contrast, balance, or give space between them to let those colours resonate without being overwhelming. If you found this video useful, please do all the usual YouTubey stuff and like and subscribe, click the link, click the bell, share it with your friends, save it, so that more people can find my channel, and hopefully I can help them find their perfect colour palette too. See you later, guys! Don't forget to grab your copy of my colour wheel colouring sheet using the QR code on screen or the links in the description.